Exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I love nights. We wait all day for the night. Only good things happen at night. Gladys Knight in the Pips. Tonight's the Night by Rod Stewart. And I'm feeling a tremendous amount of turnaround in only 24 hours. I mean, it is oozing right now through the microphone, through the headset. I go old school with my headset. I don't need that new yuppie, just put in a, tiny little earplug or whatever. Screw that. I'm going old school. I got cans on, big ass cans. Okay. And that's the way that I roll here on Into the Night, but I'm feeling it. I am. And it's almost like, okay, you've had a day to digest. You've had a day to reflect. And are the problems fixable? Okay? That's what you got to ask yourself right now. Are the problems physical? The penalties have been way too much. And frankly, I'm very surprised by this and disappointed. Why do I believe that changes on Sunday? The Brian Thomas Jr. situation is far more complex. Everyone seems to have an opinion. I think there's a great deal of we just don't know at this particular point. Theories, conspiracies, no matter what it's been, it is plentiful. And everyone seems to have their thoughts on this. I don't think, as far as I'm concerned, you're wrong. I don't think you can eliminate anything that has come my way. And I hope it's a confidence issue, as Bucky Brooks said with Frank and Hayes. I hope that that's it. I think that's fixable for any professional athlete. I got to believe that at some time in your career, regardless of the sport, you just feel like you're not at your best. Okay? I hope that's it. I think it's more. Okay, I happen to believe right now that he's scared, and I'm tight. Can you do me a favor over there, Dylan? Can you find me if I use the term hospital ball? That is already exhausted itself. It's a fairly new term, and everyone's using it now. Can we just completely eliminate that from Into the Night?
Yes.
Can you hook up the Pavlov experience and shock me if I, say it? I already told you yesterday I'm not going to bring up the situation, the patting on the chest and the wave away with the coach and the quarterback. I had my opinion on that, and that's never going to be talked about again. So you got a lot of reasons here to possibly shock me.
I'll give the shock collar like a dog, and I'll throw it at your neck in the middle of the segment.
I love when everyone hops onto it. Hospital balls. I mean, it's a great term, but now, I mean, I'd lie if I would be lying if I said I was in Publix or any place like that. I don't go to stores because I get hives. Okay, but I can just imagine right now, like, house ladies walking around shopping with, like, old men, and they're like, can you believe that hospital ball that Trevor Lawrence threw? Enough. Everyone, third graders, raise your hand. Teacher, yes. Jimmy, yes. Miss Parker, what about the hospital ball that Trevor Lawrence threw? Brian Thomas, I mean, enough. So we're going to eliminate that. We're the first to eliminate stuff.
Yeah. Are you part of that cancel culture?
Say we're cancel culture in terms, all right? But I think it is. I think he's scared. And I openly wonder, is there a problem right now with him and Jimmy Smith? Him and Trevor Lawrence. And I'm not saying a personal problem. I'm not saying that. Okay, although some people have asked me if he's jealous about Travis Hunter and all the attention. Again, any of these comments, they're not absurd until we know what's going on. He was so despondent in the locker room Sunday in Cincinnati. That was as bad as I've, seen this young man. And he's used to losing, right? I mean, he lost 13 times as a rookie. He's lost now, 14 times in 19 games. So he knows what it's like to lose. Florida State beat him in consecutive years as well. He knows what it's like to lose. There's no question about that. But he was really, really up against it. And it looked like he just wanted to sprint out of there. Did not want to answer. Didn't really say anything at all. And I think that's a credit to him. But this is where we are. And this is why we're going to bring on Jimmy Smith. Jimmy's going to join us here in about 15 minutes. And look forward to talking to the greatest wide receiver who has ever played this game. If there's one guy who certainly knows an awful lot about the wide receiver position here in Duval, it is Jimmy Smith. So we're going to begin with that as we get things started right here on this Tuesday edition. But I feel that today from you, that there is a little bit of a difference this year than a year ago. And, I can't get over, even though it was 2 days ago, the approach by Liam Cohen. It was so satisfying. And if you watch the press conference or you listen to the press conference, even in, one of your worst moments, right after the loss, right after they gave away a football game, I don't think you could come away from that not being at least somewhat inspired by what the future is going to look like. That's what I got out of it. That loss right there was handled so much better than anything that Doug Peterson did over the last 3 years. Cohen was pissed, okay? He was upset. He knew they left the W right there on the grass in Cincinnati. He knew it. And question now, are you able to turn that page and take out a Houston team that just can't do anything? Houston now 0-2. Since the 32 teams, 8 divisions, going back to 2002, only 18 of 190 teams have made it to the playoffs. That's 9.5%. So that is what Houston is looking at coming up this weekend in a huge game. There's been a little bit of line movement. Believe it or not, even with the short week, there's been cash spent on Houston. The line is dipped from 1 and a hook to 1. Your total is 44.5. Much more on that coming up a little bit later on in the week. Most of you out there play sides, but hey, the unders have dominated the NFL 2 weeks in. It's just incredible. Week 1, unders came in 12 out of 16 games. And then if you go to the 1 o'clock games on Sunday, they were 10-2, the unders. The last 4 games, though, that were played late on Sunday and as well as both on Monday night, 4 straight overs. So 10-6. But overall, that's 22-10 is what you have so far for the unders, for those out there who wager. Okay, we're always here to give you a tip. We don't play. We don't even recommend that you play. But we're just here from you here for you because we know that it's so important to you folks out there, especially if you are under the category of a degenerate. We happen to love you people. All right, we got a lot to do. Jimmy Smith, this is going to be a lot of fun. Really looking forward to doing that. Darnell Savage cut. Dylan and I talked about it last week. Dylan, we're always around and not afraid to admit when we're wrong. We actually got this one right. He was released a couple of hours ago by the Jaguars.
Yeah, this was one of those guys that was, a lot of us make our 53-man rosters at the end of the preseason. Some people had him barely on. Some people had him just off. And he lasted a couple weeks before that actually happened.
Played 20 plays against Cincinnati. Obviously, you very knowledgeable Jaguar fans are aware of the fact that they've been playing an awful lot of 3 safety looks And Dewey has played 132 plays. Eric Murray, 131. They both played all 69 respectively in Cincinnati. But where is your third safety? Again, Darnell Savage, 28 plays in the opener, 20 against Cincinnati. He's gone. You got to believe they're going to bring someone in immediately, right? I mean, Antonio Johnson has one defensive play in 2 games, and I believe that happened when Dewey needed a blow, right? He picked off the pass, had the pick six, then all of a sudden there was a penalty, and he needed to come to the sideline for one play. I want to say that that's it for Antonio Johnson. So they have shown absolutely zero confidence in Johnson. Ray Lane playing well on special teams, and that's another situation. We were talking about that in the press box. Actually raised this to D-Rock and Demetrius Harvey. Does this football team miss Daniel Thomas in the coverage scenario now in the NFL? Ray Lane is yet to play. So, yeah, you have to believe that the Jaguars now can make a transaction, that it's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen tonight. I don't know if it's going to happen by tomorrow. But you got to believe they're going to bring in a veteran safety from somewhere. At least that would be my opinion. All right, so we're really busy here on this Tuesday. It's going to be a whole heck of a lot of fun. Really, that's going to be the case all week. Hey, tomorrow night, come out and say hello. We'll be at Twin Peaks on Wednesday. That is going to be the case tomorrow evening from 6 until 8. So come on out to Twin Peaks, and that'll be tomorrow night. Then Thursday night, 6 to 8. Then, of course, on Friday during high school football, we are on from 4 to 6 on AM only. That, of course, is 1010. All right, opening comments are brought to you by Shmunez Vision. All right, patients are not always educated thoroughly about all sorts of things when it comes to your eyes. That includes cataract surgery. All right. When you sit down, have you been told that when you need cataract surgery, you have several questions, and the surgeon is going to pass you down the hall, and you're going to talk to a surgical scheduler, and they're going to tell you what to expect and give you all the details and talk about the prep and talk about everything that goes into having cataract surgery? That's scary to me. It's totally different at Shmunez Vision. Your surgeons, Dr. Neil Shmunez, Dr. Catherine Shmunez, Dr. John Hunt, okay, they're going to explain each and every detail about your surgery. They're also going to be there to listen to any type of question or concern that you may have, okay? This is the way it's supposed to be. If you're going to have surgery in another part of your body, are you not going to talk to the individual who is the doctor who is going to perform that? You're not going to go talk to some surgery counselor. Why is it different when it comes to your eyes? This is another very important ingredient that separates Shmunez Vision from everyone else. They're always going to give you the most value for your money. Check them out online. And they did surgery on me 9 years ago. Totally unexpected, and there's never been a setback. Shmunez Vision online. You can also grab all of the testimonials at Shmunez Vision. Just go to Instagram, and you can grab that. All right, we are absolutely packed right here on this Tuesday night. Looking forward to it. Should be a lot of great stuff over the next couple of hours because it's going to include you on the text line, 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Also on YouTube, let's welcome you in. If you want to watch tonight, that is 1010XL into the night. Jimmy Smith, he is our guest, and he's coming up on the other side.
Every Friday in the fall is Pregame Friday.
Is this what I think it is? Yes, it is.
We'll get you ready for the games. Who's in, who's out.
This is what I'm talking about.
Built by Dream Finders Homes. Homes built to fit your lifestyle on 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here. Experience professional grade at Nimnick Buick GMC, home of the largest inventory of GMC Sierras in Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. This month, save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierra 1500s or enjoy rates as low as 0% APR financing. Yes, 0%. You can't find deals like this anywhere else in Jacksonville. So shop 24/7 online at NimnickBuickGMC.com or at the showroom on Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
Greenlaw Group is for the insured. If you think you have roof damage, call 904-302-7055 today, and they will schedule you a free roof inspection. Trust their law firm to help you fight your insurance when you need it. These storms can cause damage you may not even see yet. Call Greenlaw Group 302-7055. There's no cost to retain their law firm and no cost to have your roof inspected. They only get paid if you win. Greenlaw Group, for the insured.
XL Primetime is back weekdays noon to 2, and on Wednesdays, join Dr. George Bari at 1:20 for the latest in sports injuries from all the big names in the game. Make sure you catch Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime Wednesdays at 1:20 on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Hacker here, and this past week during the fifth quarter, I had a listener come up to me and say that my story about Awaken 180 weight loss, my journey with Awaken 180 weight loss, had inspired them, and they made the call to Awaken 180 weight loss. They were beginning the program that they hoped would change their life, much as it has changed mine. Awaken 180 weight loss has changed my life for the positive, and I love that I can tell people about Awaken 180. If you need to lose weight, like I certainly needed to, and if my story inspires you to make the call, it'll be the best call you will ever make. It's the best weight loss program I've ever been on. The coaching you get, the guidance you get is absolutely spectacular. Take it from somebody that lost over 100 pounds on Awaken 180 weight loss. If it's time for you to regain control of your life, go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com, or call 844-346-1800. Guys, if I can do it, you can do it. Awaken 180 weight loss.
Tired of high energy bills? Replace those inefficient windows and patio doors now with the big BOGO event. Buy one, get one 40% off replacement windows and patio doors. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. This offer expires September 30th. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
ET here, and if you've ever been injured in an accident, you have 14 days to see a doctor and protect your insurance benefits. You have the right to choose your own doctor, too. And I recommend McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation, the auto accident experts.
Clean air, cool air, both are extremely important. Trust Florida Home AC to deliver on both with their Remy Halo, the next generation of air quality technology. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC and breathe clean and cool air.
Jacksonville's building a fence along the goal line. This is the Superior Fence and Rail Defensive Player of the Game. Superior Fence and Rail, where quality matters.
Trayvon Walker beasted and feasted while in the Queen City. The Jacksonville defensive end recorded 5 tackles over the weekend, with 3 being solo, and would also have a sack in what was a strong day. Numbers like this will have the rest of the league on the lookout for this dominant force. And he's your Superior Fence and Rail's defensive player of the game.
You waited forever for your new fence. Then strangers show up. Subcontractors rushing the job. Sent by the company you trusted. Frustrating, right? Superior Fence and Rail promises better. Their professionally trained builders deliver quality you can trust. No subcontractors, no shortcuts. Just the superior craftsmanship your home deserves.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line.
Hello.
Your floor's missing piece. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Tonight's show brought to you by Alexander Law Practice. I'll tell you about them in just a couple of moments. But right now, let's bring in the greatest wide receiver to ever play here in Duval. And I think we all agree he will be someday a Hall of Famer. He is Jimmy Smith. He joins Rick Ballou. Jimmy, always a pleasure.
Oh, guys, thanks. Thanks for having me on.
Early on, the Jaguars have won a game. They let one get away yesterday. Just your overall thoughts before we get to the wide receivers. Just your overall thoughts on this football team 2 games in.
My overall thoughts, I really enjoy seeing the play calling. I like what Liam Cohen bringing to the table with his energy and his passion. I really like the coach, and from what I see in that offense, it's explosive. His play designs are outstanding. You know, it just seems like anybody can get out there and run a play and execute it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the way they look,
right,
and the way it's affecting the opponent's defense. So I'm extremely excited about the Jaguars, and the defense is just playing outstanding. You know. I like the way that they're shaping up also.
Yeah, coaching matters. And I think, the first couple of games in, we've seen it offensively and defensively changes for the better. I understand, Jimmy, it's a very small sample size, but it really appears to be the case.
Yeah, and one thing you got to understand, a lot of these players, a lot of these kids have been having a rough time over the past 2, 3. I know since Trevor's been there, with Meyer and Peterson, and things that are going well. We had one good year when we went to the playoffs a couple of years ago. But other than that, it's been horrendous, and it's tough to wake up and go to work every morning when you know that you're not going to the playoffs, and you know that you see the end of the line of the season, and then you go on social media and everybody's bashing you, talking about how bad of a team you are. That's terrible to go through. And, that mentality starts setting in without you even knowing it. You have that loser mentality. So I can see with Baselli being in there, he's recognizing that, we got some players that may have bring that cancer in the locker room. You got to get that cancer out the locker room, and you have to get that loser mentality out of the locker room.
That's a great point, Jimmy Smith, our guest. They have certainly done that. They didn't bring back any of their unrestricted free agents, and the roster has really changed now more than 50%. I thought last year's team, Jimmy, it was something that I never saw, certainly back when you played here. There was an acceptance of losing a year ago.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That could never be on the NFL ball club, an acceptance of where it's all right to lose. Okay, well, we'll get them next year.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have that. You can't. I mean, Coach Coughlin would have lost his mind if, we just can't have that because it's too hard to play in the NFL and win a game. There's a lot of parity in the NFL. All games are tight. It's a game of inches, and any lapse can lose your ball game like we saw last week.
Let's get to Brian Thomas Jr. I, sent out on Twitter or X during training camp a play that he was involved in, and you responded to it on Twitter, Jimmy. You said he was standing up too high. Let's begin there. What's going on with his stance at the line of scrimmage?
I've been saying it a lot, and a lot of people are noticing what, and they don't really know what I mean. You kind of have to play receiver, but if I can explain it to you, I learned this when I first got into the NFL, and it's a major fundamental that receivers must do. You cannot stand straight up on the line of scrimmage and expect to put pressure on the defensive secondary. Most defenses game plan by their number one receiver. Whatever side the number one receiver goes to, that's the way the defense sets its defense. I knew that when I was playing, so I knew that my job, other than catching passes, I had to put pressure on the defensive secondary and open things up for the offense. It opened Fred up. When that safety, when I'm coming off the football, I put pressure on the defense and the safety. They cannot afford to bring the safety in the box. And in the box is, there's 8 men in the box, which will affect our run game. As long as I'm keeping the coverage in cover 2, cover 4, and keeping 2 guys deep in the secondary, keeping them occupied, that's pretty much, I'm being effective as a receiver because they're not able to load the box and load up on the run. So by getting your stance down, you're able to come off the ball a lot harder, a lot faster, a lot quicker, rather than you standing up. You have that forward lean. And I learned this from playing with Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin wasn't a speed guy. He wasn't a 4.4 guy. He was more like a late 4.5, probably an early 4.6 guy.
Mm-hmm.
But he made up for that with his stance being down. Michael Irvin used to come off the ball in a 3-point stance early in his career at Miami.
Yeah.
Which helped him get down the field. So by the time he came out of his route, he ran his route just as fast as a guy who was running a 4.4, 4.3. So he made up for that 4.7 or that 4.6 that he ran in the 40. So he was just as fast as any receiver based on his stance at the line of scrimmage.
Wow. Very interesting comments from the great Jimmy Smith, of course, played his football right here in Jacksonville. All right, Jimmy, 2 games in, there's all sorts of problems here with Brian Thomas Jr. What do you think's going on with the young man?
It could be a number of things. A lot of people are saying that it could have been a hit. He's, he has the alligator arms. Him not being sure of the game plan or where he's supposed to be. It could be a number of things. But it all goes back to that stance. There are some games. There may be some games where you may not be feeling up to your best. And that's what makes a true professional, to go out and perform at the highest level, regardless of how you feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were games where I felt terrible. I didn't feel like playing on Sunday at 1:00.
Mm-hmm.
There were plenty of games, but based on my fundamentals and what I worked on throughout the week, I was able to overcome that. So it all goes back to your fundamentals and your stances, regardless of how you feel. We don't know what was going on in Brian Thomas' life right now, what's going on at home, or what the deal is, why, or maybe it's a game plan. Who knows why he had such a horrible game? But he can bounce back. It's not over. It's one game. But use this as fuel to fuel yourself for the rest of the season. I remember back in '99, and a lot of players who played with me can remember this. The first time I really got called out by Coach Coughlin, and, man, I was mad. I was pissed. It was in training camp in '99. I just signed a big contract, and I was just kind of half-assing it in practice, kind of like, think if a ball was dropped, I kind of just like, oh, well, it was dropped, no big deal. I catch the next one. Well, you can't have that attitude in the NFL because it's a game of inches. And I remember Coach Coughlin, at the end of practice, he called up team and, he was giving his usual end of practice, who did what. And then he just paused, and then he said, Jimmy, you're just letting this practice go away. This training camp, you just let this training camp go by because you acting like you don't care. And I was pissed because I was supposed to be one of the leaders of the offense or of the team, and here I am going to multiple Pro Bowls. I'm not supposed to get, called out like that. And I was pissed, but what ended up happening, it made me sit back and analyze and rethink everything. And I started bringing my A game every single time I lined up because I didn't want Coach Coughlin calling me out again because it was a horrible thing. I didn't like Brian Thomas. That interview he had to do answering to the media about drops. It has to be the worst thing in the world when it comes to a wide receiver. You don't want to have to answer for drops.
Mm-hmm.
And people were like, well, we didn't like how he was answering the question. Well, it's hard to do, and I feel for him. I feel for him having to go through this. But this would be the best thing. He'll look back on this day. Hopefully, he'll look back on this day, on this week, and he'll probably appreciate it. Hopefully, figuring that he'll turn this thing around and continue his Pro Bowl play like he had last year.
Drops is one thing, Jimmy. That's really been the case for him really since training camp began in late July. Something new is alligator arms or hearing footsteps. That happened 3 times on Sunday. He looked scared out there. How do you approach that situation?
It's tough. It's tough. I would have to be there and look him in the eyes and kind of see what's going on with him. And maybe we can pinpoint what the problem is and fix it. But he's a professional. He gets paid. He gets paid a lot of money to do what, guys? Catch the football.
Mm-hmm.
That's your job. And if you can't do it, none of this stuff matters of how you feel or the fundamental, any of that stuff. You got to go out there and like a lot of guys say in the NFL, win off the muscle. You know what that means? That means you win every single play, every time.
No. Jimmy, as we wrap things up, I know you alluded to it a minute or two ago, but these problems are fixable for Brian Thomas Jr.
Of course.
Yeah.
And look, it may have taken this game, for him to fix it. Who knows? I mean, I would think, his pride would be hurt, and he would be back to the drawing board grinding this week in practice. And I'm sure he will. I have the utmost respect for him, and I hope he has, he doesn't have a game like he had last week again, because that's a horrible feeling. And just use it as motivation, Brian. That's all you got to do. Use that as motivation and come out and just just play lights out for the remainder of the season and not having another game like this.
Jimmy Smith, ladies and gentlemen, into the night here with Rick Ballou. Jimmy, sir, always a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks, Rick. Thanks for having me. Go Jags.
There he goes, Jimmy Smith. Good stuff there. Some really good comments on this football team, including on Brian Thomas Jr. So we're going to give you an opportunity right now to respond to that. Anything that you heard, that you like, that you question, that you dislike, 641-1010 text line. Brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Also, welcome those watching tonight on YouTube. You can go there as well. 1010XL into the night. All right, tonight's show brought to you by Alexander Law Practice. My good buddy Rick Alexander has been rated AV since 2004 by Martindale and Hubble. All right, this is the gold standard for anyone who does practice law, and less than 10% of lawyers are actually recognized for this. Rick is a former prosecutor. He's been representing those injured in automobile crashes for years, going all the way back to 1998. So if you have been personally injured, okay, and certainly that includes in a vehicle, and you're injured, your car is not working, you may feel like you're alone. You're not. Go to Alexander Law Practice. Pick up the phone, call 400-6600, free call, free consultation, and tell them everything about your case. First of all, they're going to give you immediate call back. Then you're going to get the individualized care that you deserve. You may not have money right now to pay for your automobile. Ask Alexander Law Practice. You'll never come out of pocket, okay? It could be bills that need to be paid. It could be anything, things that I'm not even aware of. These are the type of questions you ask Alexander Law Practice. And again, you'll never come out of pocket. So these things are going to be handled. That's why you need to know Alexander Law Practice, or take advantage of the free call and consultation. That is 400-6600. All right, good stuff there from Jimmy Smith. Let's grab some of your reaction. Also going to hear from Parker Washington. There's a guy who's not afraid to go over the middle. Caught up with him 2 days ago in Cincinnati after the Jaguars loss. We'll play that for you as well as we get things rolling right here on a Tuesday edition.
Did you know that for every inch of rain on a 2,000 square foot roof, 1,500 gallons come off the eave of the roof? Call Clearwater Seamless Gutters and Drainage, and we'll design a plan using our Clearwater Seamless Gutters, and we'll connect those gutters to a Clearwater drainage system to solve your erosion and standing water issues.
Clearwater Seamless Gutters. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at gutters. And drainage, too.
SeamlessGuttersJacksonville.com.
Okay, listen up, team. They're out to test our reputation as the best plumber in Jacks, so we gotta play like the experts we are. When customers call with leaky faucets, broken water heaters, toilet repairs, broken pipes, or any other challenge, we'll give them the solution fast. Now, who are we?
Roland Reach Plumbing!
I can't hear you.
Roland Reach Plumbing!
Now that's what a winner sounds like.
Customers always win with Roland Reach Plumbing at plumberinjacks.com.
It's the start of our favorite season in Jacksonville, football season. Let's get hyped and let's get the home in tip-top shape, and let's get that house zero-resified. Carpets, tile, rugs, upholstery, hardwood, they'll take care of you. Call the folks at Zero Res right now, 287-5727. Ask for the 1010XL special. Get your 3 rooms of carpet cleaned at $139 plus a 4th room free. Zero Res. Spell it forwards or backwards. It spells the same. Zero Res.
The Golf Club of Southampton has big plans for 2026, renewing the greens plus plenty more. But right now is the time to take advantage of member opportunities before the big renovation. Now until the end of September, you can join and save 50% off their initiation fee plus $500 back in a gift card with a 12-month commitment. All the details are at golfsouthampton.com. Playability for every skill level and a huge practice area to hone your game. Lock in now and enjoy membership privileges at the Golf Club of Southampton.
Game days aren't the only win happening in the 904. Best of Old City named 904 Gutters with a Z the #1 seamless gutter company in Duval. Like the team's O-line protects their QB. Call the winning team at 904 Gutters with a Z to protect your home from the rain.
Kuhn Flowers announces their home holiday decorating team is now taking orders for the holiday season. This is Max with 1010XL. No more hassling with tree buying, untangling, and hanging burned out lights. Call Kuhn Flowers. They'll do it all.
All right, Prosser here, and I've been telling you about Chad and Sandy. They make the promise. Let me show you some of the proof. This is Nicoletta and Daniel in Panther Creek. We don't recommend this, but we bought our new house before we sold our old one. Then worst case scenario happened. Our old home failed to sell in a year with another realtor. Finally, we got smart. We hired Chad and Sandy, and they sold it in 10 days above asking price. These are the results you're getting with Chad and Sandy at chadandsandy.com. Area homes are selling, but you got to have the right people on your side. Maybe you want max price. Doesn't matter if you're buying or selling. Maybe you just want to sell right now. Well, fast, easy, and stress-free, that's what Chad and Sandy bring to you. They have this guarantee. They guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. They're the local real estate experts you can trust for all of your real estate needs. Go to chadandsandy.com today. That's chadandsandy.com, or call that help hotline, 904-414-6200.
Here's a health and wellness tip from orthopedic specialists of Jacksonville.
Here's a simple tip for shoulder health to improve your posture. Slouching can put extra stress on your shoulders, leading to pain and injury. Make sure your head is over your shoulders are relaxed and pulled back, and your spine is properly aligned. Whether you're sitting or standing, if you sit for long periods of time, make sure to get up and take breaks and work on pulling your shoulders back. Get up and get moving, Jacks, and go Jags.
Stay healthy with orthopedic specialists of Jacksonville. 1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
6:37 right here on our Tuesday. Thank you to Jimmy Smith. Appreciate his opinion. Tomorrow night we're at Twin Peaks. Always a lot of fun out there. So that'll be the case 6 to 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Jimmy had an awful lot to say. No doubt about it. He believes he can pull out of it. And, you know, the guy was phenomenal a year ago. That's why this is so, you know, I want to say it's so unexpected, but it had been trending this way. And, you know, a lot of you out there were telling me to jam it, to shut up when I would come in here every single show and talk about how he was dropping the football. You know, I don't want to come in here and do that. I gave you my honest opinion. And you know, every time I said that, I followed it up by stating that he's a better game day player than he is a practice player. But this has continued on, and it's just not working right now. You can go to Carolina last week, 1 of 7, 1 reception, 7 balls. There were 3 misses by Trevor Lawrence. Okay, 3, where he had him and he missed him. I thought, you know, there was the drop on the screen. There was another one on the side one I thought was a drop. He's only credited with 2 drops on the year. He hasn't finished routes on, you know, 2 of those 3 on Sunday. So, you know, Edgar Bennett's got a big-time responsibility here to fix an incredibly talented football player. And, you know, I have no idea how you approach that. To me, that's scary. You heard Jimmy get dressed down by Coughlin in 99. You can't do that in 2025. Now, I will credit Liam Cohen, man. He's gone some places early on in his tenure that I didn't think he would. because I believe old school's dead. And old school, criticism, you criticize today's players, college or pro, they're going to pick up their ball and go home. They're going to pout. They're not going to give you effort. I'm not saying that is the case with Brian Thomas Jr. or that will be the case with Brian Thomas Jr., but something's going on. And I believe it's more than just confidence. Really interesting. I've done this, and Dylan, I know you're a high school coach. I've done this for forever. I can't ever think of a circumstance where someone has questioned the stance of a wide receiver too high as a wide receiver.
Yeah, I remember Jimmy pointing this out in the preseason. He took a snapshot and he took a screenshot of the who they played the first preseason game, the Steelers. He took a screenshot of the Steelers receivers and then took a screenshot of the Jaguars receivers, and there was a clear difference. And the Jags receivers were standing too high, and it looked like the Steelers receivers were actually in the stands like a little lower and ready to go. I never even, as a fan, you watch the game, you never even see those kind of things.
Yeah. As I said to him during it, the first time I ever heard about it is when he responded to a tweet that I put out back during training camp at the Miller Electric Center. He said he's standing too high. And I'm like, what are we talking about here? Now, he brought up Irvin. I remember that in Miami when it was Michael Irvin, Brett Perryman, and one of the Blades brothers. And, they lined up. They actually got in a 3-point stance at wide receiver. They were so low to the ground. So that's, you can go back and watch some old school football. When it was strictly under center, a 2-back set, and you had wide receivers with their hand in the dirt. I mean, I remember becoming somewhat of a big deal. Watched Genty last night, who, stands straight up at the running back position, although they've tweaked that since he left Boise State. But I remember when, for the first time, we saw wide receivers start to stand. Definitely a big-time change there. So, I love to sit here and forecast that this thing is going to change on Sunday and that Brian Thomas Jr. is going to have, one of those 7 to 8 reception type games for 125 yards and maybe a touchdown, possibly 2. I think that's a real possibility of happening. But this is where everything comes into play. I mentioned it yesterday. Jimmy just said it a moment ago, too. There could be something going on with him, right? We don't know about private lives. There could be something. That's where the Jaguars and every resource that they have must come into play, okay? There's counseling there. There's player representation there. I look at a guy like Marcus Pollard, who's survived every coaching change. Why? Marcus is a really good guy, down-to-earth guy. And he's been through, the NFL as a player and a coach. But, I mean, behind the scenes, what if you're trying to get a hold of Brian Thomas Jr., and he just looks at you and says, nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong. Well, okay. If nothing's wrong, why are you dropping the ball? Well, if nothing's wrong, why are you afraid to go across the middle? I mean, these are the things you have to uncover, and you got to be delicate about it. You can't point at them and scream. Those days are gone. I mean, they are. You just can't do that. You have to try to unravel this. What's bothering you? Listen, you've asked me everything. Is he jealous of Travis Hunter? The attention he's getting? Does he just hate this offensive system? Does he not like playing with Trevor Lawrence? Okay, he was more successful with Mac Jones. His best games came with Mac Jones a year ago, not Trevor Lawrence. Okay, these are questions that you keep asking me. I don't know. I don't know anything. I was one of the reporters who was asking, the questions to him after that loss in Cincinnati. And, to credit him, he answered them all. But he didn't say anything. He said nothing at all. So maybe that's a credit to him. But, this thing has got to be solved. And I didn't even mention the wrist injury. Does he have a wrist injury? We'll see. Will it show up tomorrow on the injury report? We'll see. Did Liam Cohen do this to take pressure off him? Say, watch this. I'm gonna diffuse this situation right now. You've been working with an injured wrist, and we're gonna make that announcement. Let's get ready for Houston. Maybe. Again, there's so much uncertainty right now, and I still think he's their best player. That's the deal. You can deal with the drops. What do you have, 90, 92 receptions a year ago? He had 7 drops a year ago. The greatest wide receivers are going to have drops. We saw CeeDee Lamb on opening day. Great receivers have drops. But when the effort gets questioned and, being scared to go over the middle comes into play, that really changes things significantly. All right, much more to do. Let's play, let me think about this here during the break. We may play Parker Washington on the other side. We may not. Okay? How's that for a radio tease?
1010XL brings you the orange and blue.
Touchdown, Gators!
Can the Gators tame the Hurricanes and turn the tables in Coral Gables?
Got a hole, and there he goes!
Kickoff at 7:30 on Jacksonville's home of Florida Gators football. 1010XL.
Big number 1 Duval Ford is trusted by Duval families, Duval businesses, and law enforcement across Florida. We're Jacksonville's largest Ford dealer by new Ford sales with the biggest service facility to keep everything in your driveway and in your fleet on the road. Shop Big number 1 Duval Ford on Cassett Avenue for our low prices and nationally recognized service-first experience. Big number 1 Duval Ford, proudly serving North Florida since 1916.
Tired of high energy bills? Replace those inefficient windows and patio doors now with the big BOGO event. Buy one, get one 40% off replacement windows and patio doors. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. This offer expires September 30th. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
My son had a meniscus surgery a couple years ago. When it's smooth as silk, Dr. Kevin Murphy did it. Was playing tennis in 2 weeks. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Fish know where to hide. Captain Kevin knows how to find them.
That's a big one.
Listen for the Wing Power Fishing Forecast Show, brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss and Royal Pest Services.
Thursday nights at 6
on 1010XL AM.
Introducing the Jag Stack at Firehouse Subs. So bold, it's named after the home team. Stacked with honey ham, smoked turkey, roast beef, provolone, fresh veggies, and the new Duval drizzle sauce. For a limited time at your local Firehouse Subs, there's only one hottest sub in Duval.
Lauren Brooks here. Tired of shaving and waxing? At Hello Smooth Med Spa, laser hair removal permanently reduces hair growth for smooth, stubble-free skin. It's life-changing. With over 400 5-star reviews, they're Jacksonville's trusted choice. Learn more at hellosmooth.com.
Hey, it's Brent with Arcosa Crushed Concrete. If you've got concrete or asphalt rubble on your site, let me buy it from you, and I will recycle it into construction material for your future projects. Arcosa Crushed Concrete. Get paid for what you don't need.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Right now, they're on their way to disrupt your life, make you uncomfortable, and rob you. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. That's right. Summer heat and humidity are about to attack North Florida again. You know what to do. Call Mike Merritt. Mike Merritt's Heating and Air has a license to chill. When heat and humidity are attacking you, Mike Merritt provides a comfortable chill at a bargain price. Mike has been keeping North Florida comfortable for 30 years. Mike Merritt technicians are never paid commissions, meaning you'll never be pressured to buy something you don't need. And Mike Merritt knows cooling issues can arise anytime. They don't just happen during business hours. So Mike Merritt never charges overtime fees. When you need us, we're here for you. Remember, in the fight against heat and humidity, Mike Merritt has a license to chill. Visit merrittair.com. Florida license number CACO 50384.
San Jose Collision in Mandarin is proud to be an I-CAR Gold Class collision repair facility. That means they meet the industry's highest training standards. Experience the difference at San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Rest in peace, Robert Redford. I think you can make the case he was one of the first movie stars, right? A great actor. He was nominated for Academy Awards and Golden Globes and all that, but you know, I understand that in some circles that's probably a slight for that profession, to be a beautiful face and to be considered a movie star as compared to being a great actor. But Robert Redford was certainly both in his day. And don't make a mistake, the Roy Hobbs middle end, because he will take you deep into the night. I like these two prison movies. Those are probably my favorite. Brubaker, and then the one with James Gandolfini, who is the warden. Really good movie. Maybe an underrated movie. Let's see here. What was it called? Unfortunately, I don't have the name. But if you're a James Gandolfini fan, of course, who starred as Tony Soprano, that was a good flick. Indecent Proposal was pretty cool, too, I thought. He did all sorts of things. Butch Cassidy, I mean, it just goes on and on and on. So 89 years of age. Robert Redford is no longer with us. All right, let's play Parker Washington here before the top of the hour, because if we don't do it now, by tomorrow, it will be useless because our attention will turn completely to the Houston Texans. An off day today for Jacksonville, but tomorrow back at it at the Miller Electric Center. So everything will be Houston-related coming up on Wednesday. Let's go back to the locker room after the very difficult loss. I caught up with wide receiver Parker Washington. You guys played hard today. Unfortunately, you came a play short.
Yeah, I mean, that's the National Football League. I mean, that was a good game. You know, we kind of shot ourselves in the foot a lot of the times, but I feel like we stayed together as a team, and I know this team will come back ready to go tomorrow, and, you know, say keep building. I know it's not where we, you know, say go 1-0 and then come into this week, now we lost. This team's going to stay together, and I'm excited for it, and it's been fun to be a part of.
Felt like you guys were able to do basically whatever you want offensively for quite some time in this game. So, you know, I would imagine that's a good thing pushing forward.
No doubt. We just got to keep building on that, and then just stop the hurting ourselves. You know, inflicting wounds. You know how that goes. So we just got to continue to just play our game, be disciplined, and continue to have fun. I feel like we're taking those strides, taking those steps. The offense is, I mean, like you said, we're showing it. We just got to keep building on that and, you know, stop shooting ourselves in the foot.
The other side of it, still some illegal shifts and some things that you guys clearly have to clean up.
Most definitely. You know, that comes with it. I mean, I feel like this was, I would say, like our final straw. Just like we see if we just bring it all together as an offense, we can do special things.
Individually, I know you're a team guy. I've known that since I met you 3 years ago, but a big game for you. Kick return, punt return, caught the football today. Imagine you got to be happy with that.
You know, just being ready to step up with any opportunity, you know. I could have did better in the return game today, but, it's things for me to continue to grow and continue to build on. It was exciting to be able to step up in the offensive role. Like I said, I just want to embrace my role, continue to put my best foot forward, and it's been good.
Last one for you. Been around some bad losses, and there's no such thing as a moral victory. But to be this close, what does that do as far as your focus now for Houston coming in 7 days?
I feel like for us, we see it. Like we see where we can take this, and I feel like that's the best part. And yes, it sucks for us to come out and hurt ourselves throughout this game, but I feel like we're going to bring it together, and this team's not falling apart. We see it. We know where we can take this. We're staying together. We're, staying positive. So I feel like it's going to be good for us. And like I said, we talked about before y'all came in, it's just first taste of adversity. What are we going to do? Are we going to come together, or are we going to fall apart? And I feel like this team is making that decision that we're going to stay together.
Appreciate your time.
Thanks so much.
He deserves the football more. That's Parker Washington. Did not touch it in week 1 against Carolina. 17 snaps on Sunday, 5 for 5. The Lawrence to Washington relationship, 5 for 5 for 76 yards. So, you look at that. Diami Brown, 5 of 7, the drop in the end zone. All right. Then you get to Brian Thomas, it's 4 for 12. You get to Travis Hunter, it's 3 for 6. Brenton Strange, 3 of 5. Tootin, 2 of 2. ETN, 2 of 3. Patrick was missed on his only attempt in the left corner of the end zone. But, your number 1, number 2 wide receiver, that combined 18, that's 7 for 18 Sunday. Ugh. But it's fixable, right? That's why you practice. And Houston's got a good defense. So we'll see. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I do. I think defense is going to be a huge part of this thing coming up on Sunday. So we'll see. And I know by tomorrow, if you're not already there now, I know by tomorrow your focus is really, this is a big game against Houston. You got to punch this team in the mouth. You do. You can't forget what happened here a year ago. Okay, there's no Doug Petersons around here. This thing has got to be, let's get it on, right? Very physical football game. That's my guess. Much more to do, including our second hour, along with Dylan Denmark. I'm Rick Ballou.
Get national insight from a local legend.
I know exactly who this man is.
Mike Duraco.
And we get his insight every Thursday from 10 to noon on Jaguars Today with Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony. Brightened by Lee and Kate's Glass on 1010XL.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. You're on-road, you're off-road, now you're on the water. Greg, tell everybody what Coach and Honda is offering in the form of boats.
We've got the Honda boat, which is a great runabout fisherman. We've got the Coach boats. They're fantastic for getting out with a family. Nice lay-down beds, all with that legendary Honda motor on them.
Check them all out. They're waiting for you. You can see how you can be on the water with Honda or with Coach Pontoon Boats. Cycles of Jacksonville on Atlantic near Regency.
Now, the Randy Marion Cadillac Drive of the Game. Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville. Drive to the game in luxury with Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville.
Trevor Lawrence showed on Sunday that an important key to the Jacksonville game is giving him the keys to set the table for the Young Guns. Lawrence would lead the squad on a 9-play, 69-yard drive, capped off by a Diami Brown touchdown to give the team an early 7-0 lead. The 4-minute drive is your Randy Marion Cadillac Drive of the Game.
This is Jennifer Marion at Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard in Jacksonville, and now's the time to drive away in luxury.
That's right, Jennifer. The $7,500 tax credit ends this month. It's your last month to take advantage of this incredible opportunity.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, drive the all-new electric Optique, Lyric, and Vistique. They are all in stock and ready to drive today.
See all of our inventory at Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville.com or visit us on Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent you.
When it comes to glass, you don't want average. You want flawless. Duval Glass and Mirror has transformed homes and businesses across Jacksonville for over 35 years. Frameless showers that wow. Mirrors cut exactly to your style. Fogged or broken glass replaced. Decorative tabletops. Windows replaced or repaired to stand up to Florida storms. All backed by a 100% guarantee. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote. There's only one name for glass and mirror around these parts. It's Duval.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On September 16, 2018, Patrick Mahomes sets an NFL record of 10 touchdowns in the first 2 weeks of the season, recording 6 touchdown passes and a road victory against the Steelers.
Homeowners, storms don't wait, so why should you? Protect your home and your wallet with Universal Roof and Contracting. Save up to 20% on roof replacements and repairs now through September 30th. Financing is available with payments as low as $115. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting, protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hey Jacksonville, it's Dr. Kevin Kaplan, team physician for the Jaguars and proud member of Jacksonville's newest orthopedic dream team. At Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, we brought together 10 board-certified, fellowship-trained surgeons, each one a specialist in their field, all working together to deliver smarter, faster care with better results. From sports injuries to joint replacements, we've got the right player for every position. Visit osjax.com and meet your team. That's osjax.com.
Jeff Lagerman for Napa Auto Care Centers. This football season, make sure your ride can get to that tailgate or travel to the away game safely and dependably. You can trust the ASE certified professionals at any one of the 29 independently owned Napa Auto Care Centers and the quality Napa parts they use. Napa Auto Care Centers can handle everything: oil changes, air conditioning, brakes, engines, transmissions. Napa Auto Care Centers offers a nationwide 24-month, 24,000-mile peace of mind warranty on most repairs. Find one near you at jacksnapaautocare.com.
Frank Frangie here, telling you about my daughter Amber's journey with Awaken 180. She's lost 60 pounds. Can you believe that? And she just took a road trip. The reason is it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle change. Call 844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com.
Budweiser reminds us to drink wiser, like hydrating between beers. It keeps the fun going longer, and it's a commitment to responsibility. Remember, good times are ahead, so no need to overdo it. Know when to say when, and always designate a driver.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, I'm looking right now. Our text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures and on YouTube. Woo! Blowing up right now. We're going to get to your questions in about 20 minutes. Right now, though, let's turn our attention to Niall Lawrence Stample and the Florida State Seminoles. Niall, always a pleasure.
Yes, sir. Go Noles.
Thank you for NLS cleaning, power washed my driveway, sidewalk, all the way up to the front doorstep. I ate off it last night.
Yeah. It got cleaned up nice, man. The HOA is a stickler, so we do a lot of those. So we're happy we got your place cleaned up.
If you're dealing with the HOA out there and that mafia, okay, just give our friend here, NLS Cleaning, a call. That, of course, is now Lawrence Stample. Won a national championship with Florida State. Also played defensive tackle for the Cleveland Browns. All right, an off week for Florida State, but they are, they move up anyway. They move up a few spots. Florida State will take on Kent State this weekend. They're now ranked 7th in the Associated Press.
Yeah, which is great. We love to be able to move up and kind of, you wouldn't want to move up too quickly, too high. We want to make sure we're staying grounded and staying kind of firm on the ground, because it's one of those things where you get kind of too floaty and too kind of arrogant and too cocky. Mm-hmm. So I'm happy kind of where we are. I think that's a good spot for us to be and be able to continue to build on.
Usually when you have a bye, it's a big-time opponent who's waiting. That's not the case. This is Kent State. Just your overall thought on 14 days and then taking on an opponent that you're favored by 44 points.
Yeah, I think that's one thing. And then obviously you don't want to kind of skip over them and start kind of installing other things for other teams as far as Virginia. But I do think it does play a really big test on the development of our younger team, which the depth was obviously a question. So I think it kind of continues to kind of perpetuate this climb that we are watching and we are seeing happen. And I think I think one, I like that we're going into Kent State after a bye just because we got to see what our young guys did, but also it kind of creates a little momentum going into the second half of the season.
Yeah, and, attrition has been a problem as well. I mean, Randy Pittman is not on the depth chart, therefore, he's not going to play this weekend. Roydale Williams as well. You don't know if they'll be around for a week from Friday against Virginia. Then, of course, Miami does come in. So you're missing key players right now, both on offense and on defense. You build depth. Also, Niall, it gets to the point where you guys better be ready, because if they're not back, not only are we building depth here, but you are going to be a big part of the game plan pushing forward.
Yeah, agreed. So what you love is obviously we're building depth, but at the same time, when those guys come back, now we're really in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So having some of those injuries and having some of those like little dings and bruises, I think allows opportunity for young guys to be able to step up. And then now us having these games to where we can really see what it is that we have create so much more value. So I think the injuries kind of suck, but there's a little bit of silver lining there.
Yeah, we talk about installation a lot here, covering the Jaguars, and at what point during camp do you install more and more? College is different, where it's not a full-time occupation, if you will. Can you add wrinkles in now, both offensively and defensively, compared to what you did in training camp, considering you had this extra week?
Yeah, and that's what you love about having someone like Gus as your offensive coordinator, because he has built things into camp that aren't necessarily wrinkles, but they're going to be small, little intricate details as far as, instead of us having this guy pull to the right side, we're going to actually have him delay and have him come back to the left side. So it's very small things that we're going to add in that can create a really big impact, especially when it comes to these analysts that are watching these games. We're going to come into Kent State, possibly even do 6 or 7 plays that we have absolutely no plans on running, but it is going to give those analysts a hard time in order to try to decipher what's coming next.
Talking with Florida State's our Florida State analyst, he of course is now Lawrence Stample, who won a national title with FSU, also a business owner right here in Jacksonville. I refer to it often because it really changed the complexion of the program. But you go back to Northern Alabama again a couple of years ago, before you knew it, they were down 13-0. Just the importance of them coming out and being focused like they were a couple of weeks ago against East Texas A&M. You want your starters to do theirs, get their rep, but you want to get them out of there healthy. Starting quickly against a lesser opponent doesn't always come out that way. For Noel fans, hopefully that's the case for them on Saturday.
Yeah, and that's going to be a big test to the leadership, because Norvell can only do so much. So it's going to be a big test to the leadership. Can we come out with tempo? Can we come out and execute and look crisp like we did going out into Alabama? Just because everyone was extremely focused, just like you said. So what are the mindsets going to be coming into this game? Can we play a Kent State after a bye week prior to playing East Texas A&M with the same urgency and dog that we saw versus Alabama? It is going to pay dividends, and it's going to show what it is as far as what our leadership is concerned, because those guys are going to have to make sure over hell or high water we are ready to go versus Miami as well as Virginia. They're a big opponent as well.
Well, there's no doubt. And I was reading today about we had 2 firings over the weekend with Deshaun Watson at UCLA. Then you look at the situation at Virginia Tech in their firing. Tony Elliott is right behind Napier, and Mike Gundy is like the 3rd coach who could be fired. So you nailed it. I mean, in 2 Fridays, that game for Virginia, not only are they playing for their coach, they're playing for, the overall feeling of what that program is and where it can be. That is going to be a huge road test for Florida State.
And I love it, especially coming after these 2 games, coming in and starting to build some momentum. It's going to be a test. Guys are going to be tested mentally, physically, emotionally, especially going out of our comfort zone for the first time. So I love everything about this Virginia game, especially being an opponent that we should be able to handle, even if there's adversity. So I love being able to see this kind of climb, right? This climb is there. And I think it was built perfectly in order for us to do that and make sure that guys can trust each other. When you buy in, you have to know that the guy next to you is doing their job, so that way I can focus on mine.
when I started covering Florida State after I was a student there, the one thing that was so consistent under Bobby Bowden is he was able to keep his coaches forever. Okay, Wayne McDuffie, then Brad Scott left. I think he took John Eason with him. Might have taken Mark Salva with him. But for the most part, then it became Mark Richt. And defensively, it was always Mickey Andrews. But as you know, Coach Amato was there. He had Jimmy Hagens on the offensive line. He had that nucleus that was set. Here, Florida State fans are enjoying the fact that they get the huge upset. They're 2-0, and all of a sudden UCLA opens up, and before you know it, now Tony White, who's an alumni, he's an alumnus of UCLA, is one of the front runners being mentioned to take that Bruins job.
Yeah, it's one thing to be mentioned. It's another one for it to actually make sense for Tony White. I think he has a lot left to prove in order for him to get the position that it is that he genuinely wants, because it may be an opportunity, but is it the opportunity for him? He seems very meticulous when it comes to breaking down his defense and his game plans and how he runs things. I think he wants the best fit more or less than just the first opportunity that comes a knocking. So though I think he is going to, and he's gunning for a head coaching job, I think that's something that's going to come sooner than later, unfortunately for the Noles. I don't know if this is the fit that he's looking for.
No, you won your national title in that Rose Bowl and in 2013. I happened to be at that game as well. It's an hour away from campus. It's an old stadium. It's got so much history. It almost reminds me of the old Orange Bowl to some extent. But the fans have had it. They're struggling with the NIL. They're struggling to recruit. And they're in the Big Ten. This is not a great job right now, UCLA.
No, it's not. And if you're going to take your first head coaching job, though I think being able to get your foot in the door is great in any capacity, I think right now, when you have an opportunity to be able to go and continue to kind of pad that resume, it's kind of hard to say, you know what, let's go ahead and wait and let me see an opportunity that's more ideal for me, so that way I can continue to kind of ascend through this coaching resume that I've been able to build, instead of being able to possibly be halted going into something that's not great.
I'd like to see John Gruden get that job, so he's not mentioned for the one at the University of Florida, which could open up. We'll get to Clemson here in 1 second. But some good news. Ethan Pritchard, unfortunately, shot a few weeks ago. A bizarre situation. 4 suspects have been arrested, but Mike Norvell met with him on Sunday, and Ethan Pritchard, for the first time, opened his eyes.
Yeah, and it's amazing to see, amazing to hear. Everyone was really obviously worried about it, and it's one thing to be able to like leave and go home and do certain things of that nature, but it's really tragic to hear when stuff like that happens, especially somewhere where you have close and dear to your heart. But it puts things in perspective. It puts things in perspective for everyone, for the organization, for the players, that this life is finite, right? It's not guaranteed. It's not. So every day you wake up, these players have to kind of feel that, digest that, especially with a teammate that is so close to them. Yeah. So I'm really happy to hear the progress that he has. It looks like he still has a long road to go, but I'm very happy that things are moving in the right direction.
Yeah, myself as well. And I think just about everyone out there feels the same way about Ethan Pritchard, who was shot in the head. If you don't know what I'm talking about here, what we're talking about, that happened about 3 weeks to a month ago. All right, let's wrap up with Clemson. They let one get away. I mean, they're a good team, but they lost at home at LSU, and Georgia Tech's always nasty, but they got involved in a battle there, and they came up short in overtime. Your thoughts on Dabo Swinney and Clemson?
Yeah, it's crazy because I feel like the shoe's on the other foot now. And I think last year it was very big on the narrative of, Dabo is not really using the portal, not really transferring guys. It's not what it is that he's looking for. And we kind of had that issue, obviously with a different quarterback and whatnot. But it's one thing to not necessarily want to do the portal, but it seems like he's not really bought in with NIL as a whole. NIL is not going anywhere. It is here to stay. So it's like, what I would like to see, and what it seems like it's happened, is Florida State had an effort issue last year, but this year things have changed. What has changed for us other than us transferring over some guys? NIL is still very much alive and well. I think it's when you buy into what's going on with NIL and you truly help these players figure out how to utilize it in the best shape possible, attitude reflects leadership. So if Dabo is not really bought in, it's going to trickle down the line. And it may not be very apparent, but it seems like it's something that may be causing an issue. So if I'm coming in and my biggest focus is making sure that I can preserve as much money as possible while I'm playing college football, and that's not your biggest focus, we may have some issues on the field going forward.
Interesting. I like it. He is Niall Lawrence Stample. He is our Florida State analyst. He is also a owner and operator of NLS Cleaning, which did power wash my driveway and front door and sidewalk just the other day. Tell us about NLS Cleaning.
Yes, sir. NLS Cleaning we're continuing to thrive. We work with a lot of franchise owners. We work with a lot of business owners. We do work with a lot of property managers that do industrial real estate, residential real estate. But we come in and we clean their properties as far as their exteriors are concerned. We pressure wash, we window clean. We go up to about 7 stories, so we can really facilitate anything that is needed. You can reach out to us at nlscleaning.net. You could also call us at 904-708-8802. And reach out. We would love to get your place cleaned up if you're having a big party for a game or something like that, or just to make sure your business is looking in top-notch shape.
Thanks, Niall.
Yes, thank you, Rick.
There he goes, Niall Lawrence Stample. He is our Florida State analyst, and always a pleasure to have him with us. I'm actually going to head on over to God's country this weekend with my younger brother, his youngest daughter, and my oldest daughter. Speaking of which, I got a bunch of tickets for others. Now I need tickets. So, and I'm willing to pay for them. I mean, I don't accept freebies. That's not part of the deal. But if you are aware of any, hit me up on the text line, 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. That's 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. And on top of that, let's get to you. Same number on anything you heard there with Florida State. Certainly back to the Jimmy Smith interview I did last hour, the very latest on Brian Thomas Jr. You can also get us on YouTube. Go to 1010XL into the night.
Game day doesn't end after the game. It's not complete without the window world of Northeast Florida fifth quarter with hacker Leon and Coach Gerald Ingram, flavored by Hurricane Grill and Wings and Apex Roofing and Contracting on 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here. It's always truck season at Nimnick Chevrolet. Well, this month, you can save up to 20% off a new Silverado or get financing rates as low as 0%. Unlike most dealerships, Nimnick Chevrolet has the largest inventory on the ground, ready for you to explore. With their extensive selection, you're sure to find your perfect truck at Nimnick. So shop online at nimnickchevy.com or visit the dealership at Park and Cassett. Who's got more new Chevrolets at the best prices? Nobody but Nimnick. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
On game day, you trust your team. On storm day, trust the people's roofer, Morgan Conley Roofing. Born here, built here, staying here. MorganConleyRoofing.org. License number CCC 1333544.
If you missed it, get it on demand.
And you send those out on the line.
Find your 1010XL favorites where you find podcasts and at 1010XL.com. Channel 5, Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
I'm Frank Frangie for Ricketts Electric. Any good lineup needs power. When we needed power at the Bregan Baseball Complex and all the fields we have at Fort Family Park, we trusted Ricketts Electric. You're going to love these guys. The Ricketts family has been providing commercial and residential electric service for years. Call my friend Zach today at 904-320-5960. You can also find them on Facebook and at rickettselectric.com. Ricketts Electric, the city's best power connection. Call them today at 904-320-5960.
Pickett here for Action Garage Door. Nothing more frustrating than your garage door misfiring. When it does, I call Action Garage Door. They take action. Jeff and Art and crew, Jacksonville folks, not some big out-of-town chain. Something goes wrong with your garage door, take action. Check them out. Garage Door 911, garagedoor911.com.
Now, the Performance Painting High Performance Play of the Game. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
When the lights are on, you can expect Travis Etienne to always perform. In the third quarter, Trevor Lawrence would find the teal and black running back for an 11-yard touchdown, giving Jacksonville a 24-17 lead with 4:08 left in the frame. The Etienne score is your Performance Painting Play of the Game.
Hi, folks. Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Ever wonder what to do with leftover paint that you don't want? Here's a few options. Paint can be placed in the regular trash if it's dry. Simply stir in kitty litter to a thick consistency. Then wait a few days with the lid off till it dries. Also, if the paint is good, there's many charities or churches that would love to have it. If you'd like more tips or have a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
PRI Productions is the official game day production partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hi, I'm Randy Goodwin, president and owner of PRI Productions. Chances are, if you've been in Jacksonville over the last 30 years, you've seen our work, from corporate and social events to concert production and much more. We have the equipment and expertise to make your next event memorable. So call the experts at the Jaguars Call. PRI Productions, bringing your ideas to life.
What two vegetables are combined in making succotash?
When you file a claim with Southern Oak Insurance, we schedule one of our trusted vendors to work directly with you, which means a faster claim resolution. Find out more at southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
In order to make succotash, you'll need dry corn and dry beans. Suffering succotash was made famous by Sylvester the Cat.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It was a Ruthian shot by Roy Hobbs, and it destroyed the lights in deep right field. Robert Redford dead at the age of 89. And thank you to the numerous people who text in to say The Last Castle. Said I'm a big fan of both prison movies that he was in. Brew Baker and The Last Castle. Last Castle with James Gandolfini, who was just an evil warden. I mean, and you ever see that? He moves the rocks like literally like 10 feet, this huge pile. I mean, Fred Flintstone type rocks.
No, I have not seen it.
And then he makes him move it back. Yeah, it's just indecent human torture to Robert Redford. But yeah, he has got at the age of 89. So that happened a little bit earlier today. 5 quarterbacks already out as we now get ready for week 3. Isn't that insane? Joe Burrow, as you know, out 3 months. It's going to be Jake Browning. And that's going to be a Cincinnati-Minnesota matchup where it's going to be Carson Wentz. The Jets will find out officially with Justin Fields, but he is in the concussion protocol. 49ers, Brock Purdy's up. Mac Jones tore it up. Absolutely tore it up for San Francisco. Jaden Daniels, the knee, we're going to have to see. And it's Marcus Mariota who is in. So 5 quarterbacks already. And we're on a Tuesday getting ready for week number 3. All right, let's get some feedback from you. Yes.
I was going to say, did you see the Vikings lost their starting running back too, Aaron Jones?
Yeah.
Replaced him and IR. So their quarterback and running back both gone. But Jordan Mason could fill that spot.
Boy, that was a fun game to watch last night, the first one. Baker Mayfield's so tough. I mean, he is. And Houston just, what did they have last night? I wrote it down here. I think they had 50 yards. So far in 2 games, Houston's defense has allowed 14 and 20 points respectively, so I can do the average there. That's 17 a game. Nico Collins, after consecutive 1,000-yard seasons, only has 77 yards in 2 games. And Nick Chubb, 103 yards in 2 games. He had that, 20-some-odd long touchdown last night, but outside of that, he could not run the ball. So I like the Jaguars' chances here in the ditch, both offensively and defensively. All right, let's grab some of your feedback here on this. The Jimmy Smith interview certainly picked up a whole heck of a lot of steam. 6-1-4-3, while Brian Thomas Jr. has to catch those balls, no doubt. Trevor has to get blamed for constantly throwing him passes where Brian Thomas Jr. take a big hit. There's some truth to that. There is. Now, there's also, it's football, all right? And we've been seeing guys go over the middle forever, okay? Forever and ever and ever. I mean, I grew up in New England. I grew up in Boston when Darryl Stingley was laid out by Jack Tatum in a preseason game, a meaningless preseason game. And they've changed a lot of these rules to take away major injuries, certainly concussions with targeting and what have you. Trevor, as I said, missed him 3 times wide open against Carolina. And, yeah, okay, that ball over the middle there, that would have been a big-time hit. But the 2, in the end zone, the one in the end zone, then the one that would have solidified the victory on 4th and 5, I mean, that was just footsteps. He just took his head and immediately looked to the left. He thought he was going to get hit. So, yes, I'm not saying that this is all on Brian Thomas Jr. I don't think anyone's saying it's all on Brian Thomas Jr. And maybe there is something to that hit he took against Pittsburgh back in the preseason. I think that, that is valid. 17-12, Jimmy Smith is the greatest Jaguars player. My favorite Jaguar all the time. Yeah, getting a bunch of that. People just loving that we had Jimmy on. 8404, why isn't Jimmy the coach? The wide receiver coach. He's never really gotten involved in coaching, unlike Keenan McCardell, who was here as the wide receivers coach and has done a nice job. 51-27, either Brian Thomas wrist equals Jalen Ramsey's back, or he has some personal things going on outside the game that is distracting him. I hope that's not the case. I really do. We don't know what's going on personally with these athletes. All right. And I'm just saying in general, at least they do a much better job now, college and pro, with mental health. Now, Lawrence Stample and I were just talking about Ethan Pritchard, who was shot. Well, everyone's going to handle that differently if you're a teammate of his. Some may just say, oh, my God, that's awesome. That's awful. I wish for the best. Others may, go completely dark and may, basically feel as though they're hiding under a bed. They're scared about it. He's a good friend of theirs. They don't know how to handle things. That's why counseling and everything else really comes into it now. It wasn't years ago. It's a big part of it. If something's going on that is distracting you off the football field. And I don't know if that's the case. Okay? I'm not saying it is. You asked about it, but I think right now, since we don't know, you can't eliminate that. I hope it's not the case, though. Wow. That would be just terrible. 53-51 Blue. I mean, it was atrocious. A wide receiver negatively impacting the game that significantly should never happen. Very alarming. Well, there's no doubt. It's the ultimate team game. But Brian Thomas Jr. is the reason why they lost on Sunday. He catches those balls, it's end of story. Now, again, it's a team game. Diami Brown dropped the ball. Trevor Lawrence ran over the line of scrimmage and threw the football. Trevor Lawrence threw a ball in the red zone for an interception. Trevor Lawrence, on a week-to-week basis, at some point during the game, makes a stupid play. Okay? And that's something that he does week to week to week to week. You can't throw the red zone. Interception. And I understand on that play, Walker Little was beaten. Hendrickson came in. Hendrickson's a beast. I got you there. You can look at both Trevor's interception. You could say Walker got beaten by Trey Hendrickson and Thomas Jr. heard the footsteps. Sure. So it's a clean game for Trevor, if not. But he still shouldn't have thrown that ball. It was really underthrown, Travis Hunter. Others have told me that Hunter maybe freelanced that route a little bit. I don't know if that is the case. But red zone, only 3 of 6 on Sunday. That's not good enough. And, goal to go, 0 for 2. Goal to go. These are strengths for Cohen. That's why I'm not, it's over, it's not going to work, yada, yada, yada. No. But, yeah, got to be fixed up. 47-51 Blue. I'm waiting for the news to come out about Brian Thomas Jr. being on the take with Amit Patel. Oh, no. No. The NFL's got enough problems, including the Tom Brady situation. I'm the biggest Brady guy in town, okay? But he can't be allowed to have a headset on the, do the broadcast and then have that there with the Raiders like they showed last night. First thing I thought of when they did that, Dylan, Brady works for Fox.
Right.
It was like Disney, ABC, ESPN. Watch this, okay? We're going to have a report with Peter Schrager showing Brady with a headset on because we're the different network.
Yeah, I would, I'm sure a lot of teams didn't care for that, but the teams in division, like the Chargers, the Chiefs, that's just, you got to be like, dude, we can't have this. Just optically, that's just awful. You can't have that happen.
It is going to be, in 2 weeks, the Bears and the Raiders. The city of Chicago will go absolutely crazy about this. And those are good fans. Those are good human beings. I spent 7 years there. Chicago is completely different from East Coast, where, fans and the media alike are they just get up consistently on the wrong side of the bed. But they have a serious case here. Brady's going to call this game between the Bears and the Raiders. He just sat there and listened to absolutely everything that is going on with the Raiders. And, he's still not allowed. They changed the rules. He's not officially allowed to go to the team facility and watch practice. He's not officially allowed to go to the team facility and talk to players and coaches. But he can do it on Zoom, and he can interview anyone he wants off of the premises. Here's what I got for you. When Tom Brady calls, you take that call. If Tom Brady wants to talk to the star, wants to talk to the quarterback, if Tom Brady wants to sit around here and talk with Caleb Williams, if he wants to talk with whoever it may be, okay, for any type of situation, it's Tom Brady. They're going to say, hell yeah, I'm going to talk to Tom Brady. And then he could turn right around and give the Raiders that information. Huge Tom Brady fan. But this is wrong. This is a total conflict of interest. And I also think this. It's not a big deal right now. You know why? Because it's the Raiders. It's the Raiders. They're not winning. They lost last night. But if that ever does turn around and they start winning games and they become playoff contenders and then a playoff team, that is when people are going to yell the loudest. All right, we got much more to do. Take it till 8 o'clock right here on this Tuesday. Quick reminder, tomorrow night, 6 to 8, we will be on the road out at Twin Peaks.
Offense, defense, special teams.
Offense, defense, and special teams all contribute.
We got ourselves a roster.
After the game, pump up the Superior Plumbing Special Teams Player of the Game.
They got to match IATIS
on 1010XL.
Elbow pain, whether acute or chronic, can make it difficult to do normal activities like playing sports, doing household chores, or even sleeping comfortably. Dr. George Barr here, and no one wants to deal with pain without solutions on how to feel better. We've all heard of tennis and golfer's elbow, but there's plenty more that can cause pain, like osteoarthritis, muscle tears, and nerve entrapment. All are treatable at Barr Orthopedics. Getting you back to full health is our mission, and there's a number of different treatment options we can offer. Call us today or visit barrorthopedics.com.
It's Rick Ballou. If you're looking for a brand new truck right now, Crew Cab Ram trucks start at just $38,900 at Jacksonville Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge Ram West Side. And every new retail purchase comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty at no extra cost. From tough Ram trucks to adventure-ready Jeeps, they got you the percent ride you're waiting for, or the perfect ride that you were waiting for. Stop by Commonwealth Avenue or shop online at jackswest.com. Jacksonville Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, West Side, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jax is more than a city, beaches, suburbs, or a destination. We're a community that takes care of each other. I'm former Jaguar Tom McManus. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling is dedicated to serving you with respect and integrity. From estate cleanouts to furniture and appliance removal, we handle it all. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We're here for you. We're veteran-owned and operated. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
Hey, this is Lauren Brooks. With over 1,600 five-star Google reviews, it was a no-brainer to have Closets by Design help us get organized at home. They create custom storage solutions for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms and more. Closets by Design will transform clutter into seamless organization. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and get 40% off plus an extra 15% off with free installation. But only until September 30th. 18 months financing is available. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Helmets and Heels is returning to Vegas. If you're heading out for the big game, join us at Circa Resort and Casino this October for a Halloween weekend football getaway, featuring Circa room discounts and a huddle up for everyone in the teal and black. Meet Helmets and Heels Friday night, October 31st, then hit the Circa Stadium Swim with temperature-controlled pools and a massive betting screen. For Circa room discounts and more information, visit the 1010XL webpage or circalasvegas.com/huddleup-up.
Hey, it's Rick Ballou. I just upgraded my home with fantastic floors, and the experience was incredible. Rusty and the team brought the showroom to me with their at-home consultation. The whole process was simple. The installation was top-notch, and the results, absolutely fantastic. Take it from me. Don't wait. Visit fanfloors.com and schedule your at-home consultation today. Fantastic Floors, where every step is fantastic.
I'm Frank Frangie. Now, I've been telling you about my daughter Amber's journey with Awaken 180. Well, ready for this? She has now lost 60 pounds. That number's real, 60 pounds in a little over 3 months. And here's the thing, she loves doing it. She just went on a trip to Tampa to see a concert, sort of a road trip. And I asked her, was it hard to stay on the diet? She said, Dad, that's just it. It's not a diet. It's a lifestyle change, and it's sustainable. And it's sustainable even when you're on the road. She is so excited. It has not changed her life. I think that's the best thing. It's a lifestyle change, but it doesn't ruin your life. She's loving her life, and she's so excited that she's been able to lose all that weight. You can do the same thing. You can kickstart your transformation. Call 844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com. It's working for Amber, and she's so excited, and I promise you it can work for you. 844-346-1800 or awaken180weightloss.com.
Florida heat hitting like a heavyweight? Time to call in the champ. KO Electric and HVAC. We knock out the heat and power up your comfort. Fast, reliable, and undefeated in home service. KOElectricJacks.com. KOElectricJacks.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Tomorrow's going to be a big day. I mean, it really is. See, what are they going to do with safety? They're going to add someone tonight. They're going to add someone tomorrow. They've been playing a lot of 3 safety looks. They did say goodbye to Darnell Savage today. He was released, 20 snaps against the Bengals, 28 against Carolina. They have not shown any faith in Antonio Johnson. 1 snap all year, and I believe that was when he replaced Dewey after the pick 6 that was called back because of a penalty. So Ray Lane, nothing yet. Wouldn't be surprised if you hear about a veteran coming in as early as tonight or tomorrow. We shall see. 5901, Rick, after watching Baker last night, there's no way anyone could say they'd take Trevor over Baker. Oh, yeah, absolutely they would. Trevor's still got the God-given gifts. You got to give it more than 2 games with Liam Cohen. And Trevor's thrown 4 touchdown passes. Trevor's done some nice things. We talked about the stupid mistake he makes at least once a game. Baker's blue collar. Baker's not the athlete that Trevor Lawrence is. Baker doesn't have the arm strength that Trevor has. Baker doesn't have the gifts that Trevor has. But Baker Mayfield wears it on his sleeve. And guys play hard for him. I still think, in my opinion, most would take Trevor. They believe they can fix Trevor. And again, you can't possibly begin to analyze Liam Cohen and Trevor Lawrence, 2 games. No way. And they've, there's been some good with Trevor. There's also been some bad with Trevor. His completion percentage and his quarterback rating is just awful. Just terrible. But again, it's only been 2 games. 40-42 Blue. If you watched last night's game against with Houston, it's a dirty team and they take cheap shots. I did watch last night's game. And yes, they played to the echo of the whistle. You can certainly make the case with headshots. No doubt. That is their reputation. And their defense has played well. They've allowed 17 and 20 points, respectively. So, where's the one that I wanted to bring up that I thought was pretty interesting? I don't know what. Yeah, here's one. This is a touchy situation from the 0882. Rick, could this have anything to do with anything? NFL wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr. lost his former LSU teammate and close friend in Kyron Lacey to suicide in April. Absolutely, it could have something to do with it. No question about it. Yes. Again, we don't know what's going on. But, I mean, I talked about mental health not too long ago, and, I mentioned the Ethan Pritchard situation in Tallahassee. You got 85 kids on scholarship. You got another, 20, 25 walk-ons. You don't know how those guys are going to handle it. Some may just carry on as is, wish the best. Others may be deeply affected. We all handle death and, tragedy differently. You just can't stereotype that. I mean, people react differently about everything. So, yeah, that could be it. Baker has the fire you don't see. Yeah, he does. I mean, there's no doubt. He is a phenomenal leader. And he comes off as a blue-collar guy. And we saw it again last night. 56-02 Blue. You cannot teach Trevor Lawrence what he is missing. He's missing moxie. He's missing leadership skills. He's missing all the intangibles that Baker Mayfield has. And unfortunately, I think you can go farther than that. Yada, yada, yada. This is a mentality unable to get together with his teammates. Okay. He goes on to say Trevor Lawrence seems disinterested sometimes. I don't know if I agree with that part, but your leadership and your moxie, again, all of that is fair. I think Jaguar fans are waiting for more and more to come. Obviously, I'm no longer the sideline reporter, so I'm not there to listen to Trevor Lawrence after drives. I did see the Jaguars.com put out something early after penalties and success that they did have. And Trevor, had the entire offense with him. That is encouraging. That is moving forward as far as his leadership. But I've always thought that you can't force leadership. It's only going to be around for a small period of time. What's that? People are born leaders, right? If it doesn't work out here, that's going to be one of the things that they're going to point to with Trevor is the leadership. And again, it's been something that I've been wondering about. Early in his career, I was a sideline reporter, and when I talked to Dabo Sweeney at the ACC meetings, it was all about him and leadership, and Tony Elliott, who was offensive coordinator then, and then before he went off to Virginia. I was talking to these coaches about the fire in the belly with Trevor. Things came easy to Trevor. Who were they talking about? Were they talking about it last night during the broadcast? Or where did I hear that he had won 70 in a row? If you look at high school and college before he lost in the national championship game, and all this guy did was win. But I wouldn't be giving up on him if I were you. I just wouldn't at this particular time. Let's wrap with this before the final break of the night. 0956 Ballou. Some people hate on Trevor. A couple of years ago, we call him Baker and Josh Allen a bust. Now look at them. Just takes time, the right scheme and staff around, and as the natural talent is there. Well, that's a very good comment. Yeah. And, as I said a moment ago, you can't possibly begin to fill in the blanks involved with Liam Cohen in 2 years. There's no way. And it's working right now for Jacksonville. Okay? They're number one in the NFL in rushing. They're tied with Baltimore right now in the NFL in average per carry. If you look at 2 games, you 1-1. But their offense has gone from 18.8 points a game to 26 points a game. Okay? That's actually check that for you. That would have been week 1. It's gone up a half point to 26.5 from 18.8 offensively. And defensively, they've shaved 5 points off already. They've gone from 25.6 to 20.5. This team had 8 interceptions a year ago. This team already has 6 takeaways this year. 6 interceptions so far. So, stuff's working. It's not even close to being perfect, but it's encouraging. It really is. It's got to be on both the offensive side and the defensive side. I was going to talk about this tomorrow night. Do you realize right now the Jaguars' offensive line, according to Next Gen Stats, are number 1 in sacks allowed? Okay. They've only allowed 1. 20.8% pressure rate is second in the NFL. They average 1.98 yards before contact. That's 5th in the NFL. How many times did we talk about Travis Etienne, the backs, a couple of years ago? 25% of their carries were either stuffed at the line of scrimmage or prior to the line of scrimmage. And that statistic, stuffed rate, they're first at 6.8%. Again, sample size is tiny. But they're running the ball. The offensive line is doing its job. You got struggles at wide receiver. The guys who haven't caught the ball the most outside of the Diami Brown drop in the end zone are, if you look at attempts to completions, is Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter. Everyone else is way over 50%. So there is a lot of good things. Tomorrow, everything changes. It's all Houston, and it should be a very spirited week around here. I got to believe it's your biggest rivalry right now, right? I mean, who else could it be? It's Houston. They won the last divisional title, the last 2. divisional titles. We all remember what happened here a year ago. It is going to be explosive this weekend at 1 o'clock down at the bank. Remember, tomorrow night we'll be live at Twin Peaks. That'll be from 6 until 8.
There are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and if you stay in your home long enough, a new roof. Pick it here for our friends at Lockhart Roofing. Nobody better in Jacksonville. How do I know? They are a local certified Master Elite contractor, and that means they have a GAF Master Elite warranty. That's the best in the roofing industry. In this day and age, don't settle for cheaper discount roofers. Lockhart Roofing has been here for decades. They aren't going anywhere. Call my friends at Lockhart Roofing, 994-3851. That's 994-3851. Lockhart Roofing, Jacksonville's best for Jacksonville people.
Living on Amelia Island? Having fun in Fernandina Beach? No matter what brings you to the fun, cozy town, make sure you check out the tap room at Mokama Beer Company. With a full flight of craft creations, from the Cosmico IPA to the Motor, the perfect Pilsners and Lagers, matching memories and some Mokama magic is what it's all about. Mokama Beer Company in Fernandina Beach, near the big water where the sun is born. And look for more Mokama craft at your local Total Wine or ABC Liquors.
At the First Coast YMCA, you'll find much more than just a gym. We offer many ways to help you become more active, reach your weight loss goals, and find your inner strength. Membership at the Y includes state-of-the-art facilities, a huge variety of fitness classes, and programs for all ages. It's easy to join the Y since it's affordable for all incomes. The Y is a great place to make connections and experience something new. Visit the YMCA near you or online at fcymca.org.
I-9 Sports covers the First Coast with all kinds of sports for kids ages 3 to 17. Fall and winter registration is open right now, like girls volleyball at Duval Charter Bay Meadows, plus plenty of co-ed programs in the Tri-County area to keep your kids active. And being part of a team creates great camaraderie and commitment. Year-round sports all across the First Coast. St. John's, Duval, and Clay, sign up now for the fall and winter. It's all at i9sports.com. Enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount. That's i9sports.com.
Jacksonville's building a fence along the goal line. This is the Superior Fence and Rail Defensive Player of the Game. Superior Fence and Rail, where quality matters.
Trayvon Walker beasted and feasted while in the Queen City. The Jacksonville defensive end recorded 5 tackles over the weekend, with 3 being solo, and would also have a sack in what was a strong day. Numbers like this will have the rest of the league on the lookout for this dominant force. And he's your Superior Fence and Rail's defensive player of the game.
You waited forever for your new fence. Then strangers show up. Subcontractors rushing the job. Sent by the company you trusted. Frustrating, right? Superior Fence and Rail promises better. Their professionally trained builders deliver quality you can trust. No subcontractors, no shortcuts. Just the superior craftsmanship your home deserves.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
I love my propane company. They always answer when I call and give me great prices and fast service. Said no one ever.
Until now. Need propane for your home or business? Seabreeze Propane is bringing the propane as North Florida's new local propane provider. Visit SeabreezeLP.com. Seabreeze Propane. We make propane cool, brother. Oh, yeah.
Huge savings on Dell AI PCs with Intel Core Ultra processors are here, and they're newly designed to help you do more faster. They can generate code, edit images, multitask without lag, draft emails, summarize documents, create live translations, and even extend your battery life. That's the power of Dell AI with Intel inside. Upgrade today by visiting Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
All right, not a complete surprise. Matter of fact, Dylan and I were talking about it last week after the, Jacksonville continues to make some moves off their roster. This time it's Darnell Savage. Okay, he is cut. He is flat out released. Gave you 20 plays against Cincinnati and 28 plays after the Carolina game. This came on the heels of the Tank Bigsby trade. We talked about who could be next, and Savage was the guy. So they're going to have to go out and make a move here, bring in a veteran. They haven't shown any faith in Antonio Johnson. He's played one defensive play in 2 games. Ray Lane, zip. And again, they're playing a lot of 3 safety looks. Eric Murray and Dewey playing just about every single snap, including they both played all 69 of them this past Sunday at Cincinnati.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnik. Nimnik Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnik Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Hacker Nation is here. Darnell Savage gone.
Yeah, again, like you, I can't say I was totally surprised, but again, a move will ultimately be made. And James Gladstone continuing to show you that this roster is going to be ever-changing. I mean, every week it seems like somebody that's played a lot of football in a Jaguar uniform is sent down the road, either via trade or via release. And this week it was Darnell Savage.
Yeah. What are they going to do now, though? I mean, again, those 3 safety looks, they got to go out and find someone somewhere.
Yeah, obviously they have to have some sort of plan. I would imagine the Savage goes on waivers at this point, right?
Well, he's flat out released. He can sign with anyone.
He can sign with anybody. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, there's really nothing stopping them from signing somebody literally right now. I would imagine we'll probably get some word tonight or tomorrow about what they're going to do with that roster spot. But, yeah, I mean, Dewey, and by the way, Dewey and Eric Murray have both played very, very well in the first 2 games. But I agree, you do need to bring in another safety. And the Antonio Johnson thing is weird. Maybe Savage got released because he's older than Johnson, but Johnson has not played very much at all, as you mentioned.
Yeah, and, I thought he had a good camp. And
I did too.
I interviewed him a few times. You interviewed him a few times. The coaches commented on him. Kept hearing that this, new vision based on the quarterback defense and zone coverage would allow his athleticism to take its course. He's a freak. He's so long. He almost looks like an outside linebacker. They just, so far, they don't trust him.
I'm going to be in the locker room tomorrow. I know you'll probably be down there tomorrow or Thursday.
Yep, Thursday for me, yeah.
Is Brian Thomas Jr. going to talk to us? That's going to be interesting.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's MIA tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, too. I'm wondering if he's going to not be in the locker room when we go in there.
Yeah, we all grilled him after the game in Cincinnati, and he answered every question, but he said nothing.
Right.
So I don't know if that'll change. I don't think he's going to tell the media what it is. And we're all speculating now. And it's a number of things that it actually could be, which is really interesting.
Well, and the interesting thing, too, or the concerning thing, I guess, look, it's one thing, media says it, and obviously we are paid to voice our opinions of what's going on. There's a lot of former players that you see coming out and saying, is there a toughness issue? Guys on the bench could play better than Brian Thomas Jr. And when, former players are also echoing that sentiment, I mean, there all of a sudden is a ton of pressure on Brian Thomas Jr. Again, I went back and watched those plays against Cincinnati. It's even worse now when you watch him again.
Oh, it's really bad.
It's really, really bad the way Brian Thomas Jr. played. And, boy, there's a lot of pressure on that young man going into this Houston game.
Said someone text me and asked if I've ever seen anything like this before. I've seen guys, absolutely quit when they know they're going to get hit, but not 3 times in one game.
Right.
That is very scary. All right, what do you got going on today?
Yeah, Matt Verderam of Sports Illustrated is going to join me to look at the Jaguars and the AFC South. Also, Mike Huguenin, the man's an absolute college football encyclopedia. We'll preview Florida and Miami.
Remember when Mike Huguenin worked at the great college football rag that once was the Sporting News.
That's right.
Way back in the day. Have a fun show.
Thanks, Rick.
All right, thank you to Jimmy Smith. Really enjoyed that, man. He was pretty outspoken. Good stuff from Jimmy. Thank you to Parker Washington. Thank you to Niall Lawrence Stample. Tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, let's break a little bread. Let's drink some wine. Maybe you will. I won't. But, hey, it's going to be fun. 6 to 8, Twin Peaks. Come on out and say hello. That'll be the deal tomorrow night. Philly Godfather will join us. John Osher will join us, among other things. That's 6 to 8 at Twin Peaks. That'll do it. Thank you to Dylan.